Hey guys, today Atari filed their quarterly financial statements, and boy, do we have some huge news coming out of that. We'll get to it right after this. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. As I mentioned, Atari today filed their half year financial statements. And boy, do we have some big news when it comes to their ownership or investment stake in Playmaji, the company behind the Polymega. As we mentioned earlier this year in July, Atari and Polymega or Playmaji both announced that Atari had made an investment in the company. This investment would see the release of a 2600 7800 module for the Polymega. It would also ensure that Polymega's online app for games would be ported over to the Atari VCS. What was unclear was how big of an investment uh, that Atari made in Playmaji. As you know, many customers who originally pre-ordered the Polymega nearly 4 or 5 years ago, many are still awaiting their shipments. We announced a few months ago that what appears to be those shipments have reached the shore, and just a few weeks ago, Polymega announced that those orders would begin shipping. And if you have a pre-order, you've probably received an email communication already confirming your address and what you need to do to get everything updated so you get your order. So let's take a look at the news. First up, from Reddit, we have a post here from Power Dubs, and he mentions, right, confirmed in today's financial report, Atari now holds a non-controlling stake of 53% on a non-diluted basis and 49% on a fully diluted basis. So what does this mean, right? So non-diluted basically means that of all the stock and shares that are currently available on the market to own, Atari owns 53% of those shares. So when it comes to the 49% on a diluted basis, what that means is the company, Play Magi, still holds some of their shares and hasn't released them onto the market. And so because they have that, they still have a controlling interest in the company. But boy, Atari is right there on the verge, and you have to wonder, with all the delays and the claims of, um, with all the delays in shipment and fulfillment of these orders, the constant release of new products that never see the light of day, whether that's the N64 module, the Polymega light guns, or the Polymega app, that company wasn't out of money, right? They weren't shipping anything. They were constantly using supply chain issues as an excuse. But meanwhile, the competitors like Analog, um, Avernick or Ambernick, and all these other companies were having no problems releasing new console after new console after new console. So what's holding Polymega back or Playmagi? Well, I would assume based on this news that what was holding them back was money. They were out of it. They burned through it. You can't operate for years on end without shipping products so that people can get new or get their orders, and so you can keep placing new, selling new units. So what were they doing? They were likely releasing new products like the light guns and making these announcements in attempt to sell more items to get more money to try to fulfill the back orders. Well, along comes Atari to really save Play Magi from bankruptcy, and for all of us that are still waiting for our orders, save us from having those orders go unfulfilled. So let's take a look at the financial report itself, and let's deep dive into this investment by Atari. So first up, what you can see here is as they're talking about significant events that happened over the past 6 months, right? Under here it says Atari continued to work on optimizing the VCS operating system and content expansion with more than 13 games added to the VPS store. Two Atari XP releases have been concluded in the first half of the year: Mr. Run and Jump and Outlaw. Those were two uh, new games or releases that they retail around 59.99, I believe. Um, Mr. Run and Jump was also released on the Atari 2600 Plus in a standard edition, which runs 29.99. It says, and pre-orders for the new Atari 2600 Plus opened in August 2023, and delivery started in November. And we did get our pre-orders on those. If you want to check out the open boxing, be sure to jump over to the video from Saturday. During the period, Atari also concluded a strategic partnership with Playmaji, the company behind the Polymega game console, to collaborate on innovative retro hardware and software initiatives alongside an investment in the company. Here's a refresh right here back in July. The strategic collaboration with Playmaji. Atari set up a strategic collaboration with Playmaji Inc., the company behind the modular multi-system game console Polymega. The collaboration included strategic initiatives that provide support for Atari games on Polymega hardware and support and integration between Polymega and the Atari VCS. And Atari has also completed an investment into Playmaji. And here we see that we start beginning to see some of the investment, right? So here is a note that um, Atari's non-current assets expanded by 5.4 million euros. It's an increase in non-current financial assets, reflecting notably an investment concluded by Atari and Playmaji of 4.6 million euros, an investment in Antstream of 4.4 million euros. These investments are net of a decrease in long-term trade receivables of 3.6 million euros. And here we see, and I apologize for some reason this PDF on their financial report is clipping, but here you see the non-consolidated entities. So these are the ownership stakes that Atari has. And in Playmaji Inc. in the United States, they have 53% there. And that, like I said, that is clipping. So apologize for that. And then as we get down here to the non-current assets, this is much a reflection of the information shared earlier, but it says over the first half of the year, non-current financial assets increase from 7.9 million euros to 13.3 million euros, notably to take into account the investment concluded in Playmaji in July 2023. And then I think we get here financial assets measured at a fair value through other comprehensive income, including investments of Playmaji of 4.6 million euros and Antstream of 4.3 million euros, pursuant to the conversion of convertible bonds held by Atari into shares that resulted in a gain of 0.9 million euros and other comprehensive income. So what that says, right, is that Atari basically loaned Playmaji 4.6 million euros in exchange for a bond that is backed by stock, right? So they have a significant ownership stake in the company. And what does that mean for consumers, right? That much like what you might find in these Reddit threads from Power Dubs, what it really means is that people that are waiting for their orders are likely to get them, right? When you have Atari backing up Playmaji now, you know that the company is not likely to fold. Chances are within the next, year, 2 years, I'm betting that Atari ends up with a complete controlling stake and ownership of the company, and you may see them either discontinuing the Play Magi brand altogether or rolling that into the Atari ecosystem in some way. Um, it's hard to see Polymega and Playmaji as a separate entity continuing long term, but at least for the near term, it means uh, more than likely the orders that are out there, the products that have been announced will be fulfilled. And so uh, that's good news for us consumers. We're not going to be left holding the bag. Hopefully, that means for those of you that got tired of waiting, that have been waiting on refunds and non-communication from the company, you start to see that. I'll point out that PlayMagi has still been silent. They other than the emails sent to people with pre-orders, they've made no public statements about receiving any of the units uh, this summer. Since that July date, um, there's been no statements on X or Twitter or Twix or whatever you want to call it these days. The company has been completely silent. So where are they with this news? Will they start talking? Time can only tell. So I wanted to rush this video out to you guys so you got the news, and I appreciate you watching. If you liked this video, be sure to smash the like button. If you want to see more like this, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and comment down below. Is this good news? Is it bad news? Do you own a Polymega? Are you now renewed confidence and may think about investing in one? Let us know, and we'll check you on the next one.